Yeah, good evening, everyone. Hope I'm audible and everyone could see my screen here.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, nice. So, where are we, guys? I think in the last class we were looking into the concept of functions, and we have even looked into how do we define multiple functions and how do we implement the modularity in the application. And we have seen what is the scope of a variable. How do you make the data to be not accessible outside of the function, or how do you define a private data, etc. Things we had looked into. And we have even seen what are the different ways we can make the private data getting extracted outside of the function. Okay, so by using the passing parameters and by returning a value from the function. So those things we have actually seen in the last class. Okay, so any questions up to this? Anyone, any questions with the last class? Hope everybody got a chance to practice the examples, passing parameters and returning a value.
Sir, can I pass the string value in the return parameter?
When I say returning a value, we can return any data type which supported by JavaScript.
Suppose in a function there is two different variable. I want to return both variable. Can I do that?
That is what we said, right, Robinson, in the last class, that actually return will return only single value. But if at all you want to pass multiple values, indirectly we go with the array or objects, which we haven't yet discussed. So if it is an array, single array it is, but it is capable of carrying multiple values. So you return a single array, under that you'll be having multiple values. In the same way, you return a single object, under that there are multiple values. But as we haven't yet covered the topic, for now, I'm just parking it. Once I cover those topics, I'm going to, I'll talk about that. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Any more questions? So hope guys, I already said you, those topics are very, very, very important, functions and global and local data. So you should be very much clear on that. Okay, so yesterday I have given example of even student details and employee details to be implemented using the returning a value and passing parameter. Okay, so just for experience, let me show it to you guys. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know. So this is the example what we have done for the student details. Can I call this code as a modularized code?
No, yes, sir.
Obviously,
Yes, sir.
Right? Because the reason is we have implemented functions here. Every piece of code we have added within a function, we have assigned a name, everything is a part of a function. Super fine. Can I call this is a valid code? Do you see any problems in this code leakage problem?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Why the reason?
Global variable.
As we discussed,
global
it is
variable.
never recommended to declare the global variables. It has to be only the private data. So what I need to do now, can I take out this guy? Can I keep it inside the read user info now? Yes. Okay. No private data we are defining. Sorry, no global data we are defining. It's all the what do you say? It's all
Local
the
scope.
Local scope. Okay, local data we are going to define it. Okay, super fine. Now the next part what we have is, let us go with execution of this guy. Open in the default browser. Let us say the student name is Mr. Raj, age is some 10, gender say some male, subject 134, 55, so and so. Okay, now if you inspect this guy, okay, when you go into the console, you got a first error, something called M1 is not defined at line number 27. So what actually it is, if you go to line number 27, you are having this M1 and M2. So, but in actual, can I access this M1 and M2? No.
No.
Isn't it? So what I need to do now?
Passing the parameter.
Pass the parameters.
Yes. Now I simply say calculate total and average M1 comma M2 comma M3. Okay. Now, can I catch it here? Can I catch it the same variable?
Yes, sir.
Yes. M1, M2, M3. whatever the values of M1, M2, M3 are there, it is getting copied over here. Now this will be var total and this will be var AVG. Okay, super fine. But the problem is after doing this calculating of this, now student show data is calling this read user info, but read user in from here, you need to get a lot of values. This is the problem. Okay. So the problem is we need to get this data into the these conditions M1, M2, M3, calculate total. We are going to get the M1, M2, M3 here. Are we total? We have the total and average. After reading user info, we are started. But here I need to have those values, right? Because these all are here. This is the problem. How do I solve this? Show data to the user. This is getting called. So I think I need to cover the concept of returning multiple values. Only if you have the returning multiple values, then it is easy for you to understand. Or else from outside, I will call read user details. Okay. Now the read user details will be calling after calculating this guy, I will be calling the show data to the user. But I can pass age, name, gender and all, but I cannot pass the total and average, right? Okay, we'll do one thing, guys, because you need to understand what is the concept of returning multiple values. Because when I say calculate total and average, I need to return total and average also. Okay, so let me work only with the total for now. I say where total is equal to so and so. Okay, and now when you're calling the show data to the user, we can simply call the sname, comma, age, comma, gender, comma, total. Okay, but actually instead of total, it is better to get the AVG because we need to calculate the grade also, right? So instead of total, I will return the AVG. Now we are having this AVG here. Show data to the user. Instead of total, we say AVG. Okay. Now you come to show data to the user. Name, sname, comma, age, comma. They are passing gender also, right? We don't want the gender. I want only the average, name, age, and AVG. Now I don't call this read user info. So you have the name, you have the age. Now I'm not going to call the total here because we don't have the total. Now I simply pass the AVG to this guy. Now he will take this AVG and shows the grade to them. That's it. Now if you save this, I don't have any of the global variables here. Okay, save this guy, come back to the browser and reload the page. Enter the student name, Mr. Raj, age, some 10, gender, say some male, subject 1, 90, 89, 45. So this is how you got the data. Am I clear, guys? So from outside, we are calling the read user info. Okay. What this method is doing, it is having some set of variables we are declaring, reading the data for the user. And now we want to calculate the total and average. So we are passing the M1 and M2. He is returning the average back to us. Okay. As I said you, we are still missing the total value. As we cannot say, can I say AVG comma total here? No, we cannot return multiple values. Okay, so I will solve it later once we finish the arrays. So now he is returning the average. I have the average. Now I'm calling show data to the user guy. That guy is going to take the name, age, average, showing the data back to the user. And we are calling the get grade guy. He is going to work on grade system. Okay. Any questions in this? Anyone? Is everyone?
Show this in debugger tool.
Show this in debugger tool. Okay. Like this. Any question?
Sources debugging tool, sir.
This is a debugging tool, right?
Sources
you-
that breakpoint.
You need to debug the code.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I go here. Now when I put the debugging point at line number so and so, now if you reload the page, this is where it is stopping. Now I say go to read user info. What it is doing? It is reading the data, name Mr. Raj, and I click on this guy, age some 10. I click on this guy, I say some male. Click on this guy, some 989. Click on this guy, say some 88. Okay, go next, 89, something like this. Now you have all the values. Now if you see, I have calculate total and average is the one which is getting called. Once I click on this guy, it is going to line number 27, calculating the total here. Okay, processing it, and I am going to return the average. Where I need to go back from here? Do I need to go back to the place where I have called from? Yes. Now if you see, the average value is 88 point so and so. Whatever the average we have calculated, we have given to this guy. Now what is my next method? Show data to the user. Okay, now if you come back here, so I'm showing the data. Now we are calling the get grade guy. Now when I'm clicking on this, I'm going inside. Now if you go for all of this, see, it is going back to the place where it is called from. All the call stack is done. This is how you see the output.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so hope you could able to do the employee details, guys. I gave you the example of employee details.
Yes, sir.
Don't make use of the global variables. So from now, any application, any small coding you're doing, any logical program you're doing, don't write any piece of code without functions, and always make a habit of creating always make a habit of functions at the same time. No global data, all private data. Okay. Yeah, any questions? Can we go for next topic?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. So what is our next topic here? Let us see what are the different ways we can actually create a function. Okay, in JavaScript, there are 3 ways we can create functions. The very first one is, whenever you want to define a function, we use the function keyword. What is the name? Say something called as display data, open close brace, open close flower braces. This is how you're going to define the function. Okay. Next, the other way what we actually have is, we can assign. Now let us say, I say var display data is equal to 20. Can you tell me what is the data type of display data here? I mean, this is gone. Okay, that part 1 is done. Yeah. When I say var display data is equal to 20, what is
Number.
Number.
one thing? Why don't I create an example?
Number.
Different ways of creating functions.html. Okay, now I go with this guy script. Okay, so under this, I say a function display data. Okay, I say something called as console.log. Hello. Console.log. Say something called as done. Okay, save this guy. Open in the default browser. Now, if you go back to this guy, go for console, you see hello and done. We already know this, right? This is the first way of defining a function. Okay. Calling of the function, we are not going to change it. It is as it is. Now, what is the second way here? Now, when I say that, let me comment out
By default, the script tag will take the MIME type as JavaScript.
By default, it takes the content type as a JavaScript.
Okay, that is why you are not specifying.
Yes, it is optional actually.
Okay.
Either you may specify or may not specify. It default takes a JavaScript. Okay. Okay. So I have another way. Let us say where say some display data. I say something called as test. Can you tell me what is the data type of display data?
String.
String.
Awesome. Now I say something called as true. What is the data type of display data?
Boolean.
What if I assign a function to this display data? What is the data type of display data now? What is the data type of display data? What type of data it is holding?
Function.
This is the unique way in JavaScript. In JavaScript, variable is capable of holding function within it. Variables are capable of holding variables are capable of holding functions within it so that they will automatically become like a function data type. So that is the reason if I say console.log type of something called as display data. Now, if I ask you what is the type of your display data, if you inspect this guy, console, what is the data type you got? Function. Function is also data type in JavaScript. Okay. Now you put the same guy, copy this guy and paste this guy. That's it. Now, if you want to call the function, calling the function, nothing changed. Now, if you see same display data. Now, if you come back and reload the page, hello done is coming. Okay. Earlier, this is how you're going to define a function. Now you are even defining variables, declaring, and we are assigning it. Now, what is the difference, boss? The difference is when you make it as a variable, obviously it will become a it will come into the variable hoisting process. Earlier, once you define a function, something like this, we used to invoke the function even before the function definition, it used to get invoked. But now, if you try to put this guy before the function definition, okay, so what is going to happen? It simply it is not at all a function. Why so? We already know whenever you declare the variable, what is going to happen? By default, JavaScript will take this guy and put the declarations at the starting. It know that it is a variable. It don't know what is the initialized value. We know that, right? In case of variable hoisting, it only moves the variable declaration to the starting of the application. Initialized value will be within the same place. Am I clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is how the second way of defining the JavaScript functions. Okay, so this is a function without a name. Assigning to a variable, automatically this variable will hold this data. So calling of the function, again, if you say, how do you pass the parameter? Same. I say a comma b. Again, when you're calling this guy, you say something called as 10 comma 20. So that all is same. Passing the variables, returning the values, those are all same. The only way what actually is changing is the definition. The how do you define a function is simply changing. Okay. In fact, instead of this way, it is always recommended because when you want to make use of the function, first of all, it has to be declared. Only after declaration, you start making use of it. In case of your normal function, it is getting available even without the function declaration itself. So that is not valid. Okay, so it is recommended to go in this way. This is the second type. So hope is everyone so clear with the two types of defining a function?
Yes, sir.
No questions?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Yes, ma'am.
sir, is semicolon mandatory after the curly braces in function? Because like when we are assigning function to a variable name.
No, when I say something called as var a is equal to something called as 90. So we already know that the semicolon indicates end of the line.
Okay.
So here putting a semicolon, is it is optional or mandatory? Optional, right?
Yeah.
So the same way, even over here also it is optional.
Okay.
Next. Hope clear, everyone? Can I go with the third way?
What is the story of semicolon, sir?
Sorry?
What is the story of semicolon? When we should keep, when we should not?
It is not the story actually. Semicolon indicates it's the end of the particular statement. That's it.
Yes, sir. It
That's
means
it.
sometimes compiler deduct there must be and sometimes not.
Now, when I say something called where A is equal to 90, semicolon, where B is equal to 100. Okay, can I do this? Obviously, yes. Now, in this case, if I miss the semicolon, now the compiler will ask you the issue. If you automatically make it the next line, then it doesn't ask you. But if you put multiple things and you're not putting the semicolon, then it is an error, right? So in this case, it will ask you. But if you yourself make it, what JavaScript is saying, put semicolon as the end of the statement. If you are missing it and you are not writing multiple statements in the single line, okay, it is optional. But you are trying to put multiple statements in the single line and you're not maintaining a semicolon, that's an error, right?
If I write where in one line, A in one line, equal in one line, 90 one line, and different line, everything, then compiler will detect, sir.
Obviously, it's an error, right? Now, when I say where, okay, what is where? Without anything,
Where?
where A is equal to something called as 100. What is this?
It is not. I think it will not detect the compiler. Compiler will detect it also, no, sir.
This detects. I never tried this actually. Oh, great! It is detecting, but I never did this.
Okay.
Okay. Any more questions?
Okay. No, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Hello, sir. We in first way we can define the function name, but in second way we are define variable. So this is the function name or variable, sir?
Variable holding function. Now, when I say A, simple A is there. What is A? It's a variable name. I say 10. What is 10? It's a value. Now, if I say A is equal to 10, now you ask me a question, is A is a variable or a value? A is a variable holding a value, right? The same thing. Clear? Yes. Okay. So the third way of making use of the functions is, let us comment out this guy. Okay. Now we have a concept, something called as arrow functions. It is starting from the ECMA 6. We have stopped making use of the functions. Okay. Starting from the ECMA 6, we have stopped making use of the arrow functions. Why the reason? There is a, we have stopped making use of the function keywords. Okay, we are not making use of the function keyword from ECMA 6. We only go with the arrow functions. Which is having some benefit. There is a benefit of it will hold this operator even after you invoke the method. So that is the reason we make use of it. But as we haven't discussed the concept of this operator, etc. and all, I won't go with the difference between in the way it executes the normal function and the arrow function. I only go with the syntax. The reason why I'm talking about the arrow function syntax now is so that it will be like a habituate for you to get habituated with the new way of defining the functions. Okay. So how you're going to define? You say where display data is equal to, earlier we used to go with function, open brace, and we put the statements something like this. Okay. Now what JavaScript is saying is remove the function keyword. Put an arrow symbol between this open brace and the flower brace. You simply put this. This is called as arrow function. As simple as it is. Okay. See, what is the difference between these two guys? Same, just we don't have the function keyword. Between these two, open brace, close brace, and the flower brace, put an arrow symbol. Arrow symbol is equal to with greater than symbol.
So could you just repeat that point, sir?
Save this guy, call this guy. Now, if you save this, come back and reload the page. Do you see the same output? Yes, it is. Okay. So putting it again, guys, earlier we used to do like this. We used to put something called as a function, assigning a function to the variable. Now what it is saying, remove this function keyword, put an arrow symbol between the braces, like equal to and greater than symbol. That's it. Any questions?
And the parentheses are the
Same,
parameters, right?
Same A, B, like this, PQ or something like that.
Okay.
Okay, this is called as arrow function. Now we saw the difference between these two, right? This way and this way we saw the difference. What is the difference? This function can be invoked even before the definition, but this function cannot be used because variable hoisting is coming into the picture. Then what is the difference between these two guys? As I said you, this operator is the one which is differentiating. When I come to the ECMAScript, then I give you the clear idea. The reason why I have said you is nowadays, the way, I mean, obviously when you're learning something, it should be trending and new things you need to learn. Instead of you get habituated of all this, later you go with this guy. I don't want to do that. So I want you to practice with the new latest part only. That is the reason I'm going with the arrow functions also. So you choose the one between line number 22 or line number 31. Mostly recommended is 31. No function keyword. Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, should this arrow function be given in this var display data? Like we have to give the variable?
Obviously, if we don't give this variable, who will hold that? Where is the name for the particular function to invoke it? That var what we give is the name which is holding that. Now display data is the one through which you are calling it. Now what if I don't have this guy? Then how do you call this function? What is the name of the particular function? No name, right? So it has to be given. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. So without var, can we give just by giving the name?
Obviously you can do. That's we already know that if you don't specify the var, it becomes a global variable.
Okay.
Remove display data
Remove display data. Okay.
and equal,
Okay.
and remove display data in below also.
Okay.
Only parenthesis right above.
Here.
Yes,
This one.
double parenthesis, yeah, and yeah, I think it will work, sir.
How it will work? It has to be something like this, right? If you want to become a anonymous function, this is how it has to work. Okay. Anonymous function which I haven't yet discussed. I will talk about them later. Functions which are not having any name, we call it as anonymous function, which will get invoked automatically. We'll see that later. Okay. Next. Okay. Hope everyone is clear.
Yes, sir.
Next. So under this functions, we do have a concept of something called as arguments, guys. Okay. There is a predefined keyword, something called as arguments, which I need to discuss. But before going with the arguments, I need to talk something called as arrays data structure, because argument is the one which is holding the data in the form of an array. So before talking about how it is storing, first of all, I need to make you understand that what is array data structure. Then we go with the remaining stuff. Okay. So I mean, please make sure you remind me if I miss it, that we need to cover the arguments keyword. But anyway, if you go through the notes is the one which will give you step-by-step explanation. So if you feel something is missing, you can always let me know. So we are going to start with a new data structure. In fact, the very first data structure in JavaScript, which we call it as arrays. Okay. So before going with this arrays, let me create a simple example. So before explaining this arrays, can I know who all say that this is the very first time we are hearing this word arrays? Anyone from our class? In the chat, I want response. This is the very first time, boss, we are hearing about this arrays data. Okay, Lohit.
Contiguous memory allocation.
Shakib, okay. Next. That's it, only two. Siri computers, okay. Tirumal, Navina, Madhu, already heard. Already heard. It's okay, guys. You don't need to respond. I want to see like first time. Sahit, Mayur, Govind. Okay. Deepak, Surya. Great. Pavani. Okay, good guys. So this explanation is especially for US. So please put some extra attention on this, guys. Okay, I'll put it from the scratch. Okay, now say for example, why do we, what is an array? Use it for communication or in, what do you mean by that, Hemant? Use it for communication. After that, what is in braces? Try to mind your language when you're actually.
Array ain't right. It's a joke, sir.
So make sure you take care of your language, Hemant, in the class. Okay. Okay, fine. Let us go with the script tag here. So let us take a simple thing, guys. I want to say var a is equal to something, some 10 or not a. Let us go with some marks. Var say some m1. Guys, if you're not talking, can you please go into mute? Okay. So when I say var m1 is equal to something called as 20, var m2 is equal to something called as 33, var m3 is equal to something called as 90. Okay. I have 3 subject marks here. Okay. What I have done, I have taken 3 variables in order to store the data of 3 subject marks. We have taken 3 variable names. Super fine. Let us say I'm creating an exam or creating a program in order to take the marks of say something like what I can say, marks of a student who is pursuing the BTech. Okay, and we already know in a BTech we have like 4 years, among which every year they have 2 semesters. Assume like there are 5 subjects for each. Assume, obviously it is more than 5, including the lab experiments, projects, etc. and all. Assume like for semester it is 5. Obviously per year it is 10. 4 years 40. If at all I want to work with the BTech student subject marks, do you really go with M1, M2, M3, M4, M39 and M40? Obviously that is the way we have, but it is not recommended, boss. Now what I'm saying is, what I want to do is, instead of taking this multiple values and multiple variable names, why don't I store all the values within the single variable name? Why don't I simply say var marks is equal to say some 20, 33 and 90. This is what I want to do. But is it possible? No. One variable is capable of holding one value. That is where a data structure being created, which we call it as arrays. What is data structure? Data structure is very simple. You might feel it's complex as it is in your academics. When it is in academics, you would have felt like it is a complex part. But actually, if you clearly understand the job and roles and responsibilities of these data structures, it's very simple. So what do you mean by data structure? Data structure is a simple container capable of holding multiple values, as simple as it is. Data structure is a container capable of holding multiple values. Now, let us say in your real-time world, there are a lot of containers. I have a polythene bag. Can I call it as a container? Yes. What is the use of this polythene bag? If you have multiple items to be holded, then you can simply make use of the polythene bag. Now, I have a water bottle. It is a container capable of holding a lot of liquid drops. Isn't it? In the same way, I have a laptop bag. It is again a container capable of holding laptops, charger, anything. So you will be using the corresponding container based on the type of data what you are using. Now I want to hold some water. Do you think that I'll go with the laptop bag? No, it is also container. But you go with the particular container in which it is easy to put the water and take the water back. Now I have some 100 books I have. So do you go with the polythene bags? No, you have a very big plastic bag, then you put it over here. So you have to choose the particular container based on the data what you're going to store. So when you go to your C language or in the real-time world, there are a lot of data structures are available, like arrays, JSONs, stacks, queues, graphs, linked list, double linked list, trees. So a lot of data structures are there. So the data structures are used to store the data and hold the and retrieve the data and multiple data at a time. That is the main achievement. Now, among all this, one advantage what you have in your JavaScript is you don't have those all data structures in your JavaScript. We don't need to go with those trees, linked list, graphs, etc. and all. JavaScript is not supporting them. JavaScript supports only simple two data. I mean, at least in ECMA 5, we have this data structures like arrays and JSON. When you come to the ECMA 6, maps and sets also will come into the picture. Okay, so what is an array? Array is a simple data structure capable of storing multiple values within it. Okay, we declare an array, it is capable of storing multiple values. Anytime, any programming language you go, if you see open and square braces, you simply say it is an array. Arrays are always represented using two square braces. Now, when I say var a, now is it a normal variable? Yes. How many values it can hold at a time? Only one value. But when I say a is equal to an array, what do you mean by this? A is becoming an array, which is capable of any number of values. Example, I can say 90, 23, 45, 67. Any number of values can be stored inside the single variable name called as a. Now, a is becoming a data structure, which is called as an array. Now, anytime, let's go with the memory allocation also. Let us say some paint. Let us say, for example, internally, this is how the memory is there. Now, I say something called var a is equal to say some 90. Now, I say var marks is equal to array of 23, 45, 67. Assume and 56 and 78. Assume this is what the array I have given. Okay, assume I have given var a is equal to 90 and I given var marks equal to so and so. Super fine. Now what I'm doing is, whenever you say var a equal to 90, how the memory allocates internally? Internally, a piece of block will be allocated. They put the name for this guy as a variable a, and internally they are going to put the value something called as 90. Super fine. Let us say I have another variable where b is equal to something called as 99. Now what again happens? It is not a continuous memory, but it will try to find out where is the place for b here. Okay, I found a place for b. I will simply allocate b here and I put the value 99. So whenever you declare normal scattered variables, the memory is not mandatory that it will be side by side. It will be continuous memory. No, it will try to see where is the space which is available. They'll put it. Now you come to the var marks. You know what actually it does? Arrays always occupy continuous memory allocation. It will occupy the complete piece of block, and that block will be divided into multiple units like this. Okay. Internally, it is going to put the values like 23, 45, 67, 56, 78. This is how the values will be stored. And this is being identified with a variable name called as marks. Marks. Okay. This is how continuous memory will be allocated to an array. Now, on the top, this is the very special part we are going to see now. Anytime we insert values inside the array, by default and automatically, every value in the array will be assigned with a numeric index value. Every value, what you give inside the array, by default, it will be assigned with a numeric index value. What is the numeric index value? Which will always starts with 0. this will be in the 0th position. This is in the first position. This is in the second position. This is in the third position. And this is in the fourth position. Now, if you ask me, no, boss, I don't want to start with the 0th position, start with 1. No, it is never, ever possible. Once you declare an array, if you see here, while declaring the array, you are not specifying the positions. You're simply saying 23, 45, 67. Internally, when it is allocating memory, it will automatically allocate 0th position to the 23, 45 with 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is. Okay. And now, whenever I want to access the A value, what I simply say A, automatically you will get it as 90. When I want to get the B, you simply say B, automatically you get the value as 90. Now, what if when I say something called as marks, obviously it is not single value, all the values are coming. What if I want to access only 67? How do I do that? It's very simple. You say marks of position. What is the position of 67? 2. Now, when you say marks of 2, it will return the value which is present at the given position 2. Now, when I say marks of 0, 23, marks of 4, 78, as simple as it is. This is called as an array data structure capable of holding multiple values. Okay, let us go with our let me show you one of the example. Let us say I have where marks is equal to array of say some 34, 56 and 78. I want to find the total. What I'll say, where total is equal to, can I say marks, or what I need to say? If I need to get 34, what I need to do? Marks of 0 plus marks of 1
and
plus
marks of 2.
marks of 2. As simple as this. Okay, this is how you could able to access. Guys, please go into mute if you're not talking. So this is how we could able to access the values from the array. Now I will say where AVG is equal to total divided by 3. Whatever the way you have, we can actually simply do that. Now what I'm asking is, boss, here you have 3 subject marks. Okay. One advantage what you're getting is you are not declaring M1, M2, M3, M4, M40. You're not doing it. Putting only single variable, and under that you can assign any number of values. But now if I want to find the sum, what I need to do? Do I need to say marks of 0 plus marks of 1 plus marks of 2 plus etc.? If you clearly observe this, am I not repeating the same thing again?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Can I solve it using your looping control structure? Yes. I say where I'm starting from 0. I need to calculate the length. Instead of that, we simply have marks dot length. Dot length is a predefined property for arrays in JavaScript, which will return the total number of values inside it. Okay, now I take plus plus. Okay, now I say total is equal to 0. Now I say total plus is equal to marks of I. Simple. That is how you could able to find the total of this marks. Now I say console.log total. Save this guy. Come back here. Open the default browser. Inspect this guy. Console. See, this is how the total is coming. Now it is 440 marks you want to give, 400 marks subject marks you want to give, 4000 subject marks you want to give. Don't bother. Simply put it on the array, run a for loop, all the values will be processed. This is what the advantage you have with your arrays. Now on the top, when you compare array of other technologies with arrays in JavaScript, there is a lot of difference. In case of your other technology, if you say in your C language, you know how you say int a is equal to array of something like this. So you can only store the integer type of data. But in case of your JavaScript, when you say array, I say number, I say string, I say Boolean, and if you want, you can even put another array also like this. In JavaScript, array is heterogeneous data structure. Heterogeneous in the sense, an array is capable of holding any type of data type, not only single type of data. Just give us a second, 1 second.
Hello, sir.
Sir?
No, sure, on call. Please
Okay.
wait.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So did you understand, guys? So in JavaScript, arrays are heterogeneous data structures. In other technologies, they call it as homogeneous data structures. But in case of your JavaScript, it is heterogeneous. I mean, you can store any type of data using your arrays.
Sir, I've got a question.
Go ahead, please.
What if I want to, can you go back to the tab earlier?
Go back to
The
okay.
earlier tab.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. What if I wanted to access number 44?
Okay. Okay. You tell me, how do I access true value? A of 2. Agree or not?
Yeah.
A of 2.
Now, when I say A of 3, what I'm going to get? I'm going to get as 23, 44. But your expectation is don't want 23 and 44. I want the 44 value. I have to say A of 3, 1. From the A
Array of array.
third position, under that, give me the first position, which is your 44. Clear, Raj?
Yes.
Yeah.
Next.
Sir, can you explain length once again, sir, please?
Okay, by default, every array is going to have a property, something called as dot length property. Now I said A here. Okay, if you say A dot length, it will automatically return you 3. The total number of values inside an array can be obtained by a predefined property length. Next.
Sir, I saw the same length for string. Is string an array?
String internally data structure is an array. Internally, memory gets allocated as like an array. Anyway, I will discuss about this. Right now, the concepts what we have is arrays. We'll talk about the arrays, array methods, and then I'm going to talk about the string and string methods. Then we go with the date and date methods. So when I talk deeply about the strings, then I will talk about this. But just to
whatever you are going to spread also array. If you use TypeScript also, no, sir?
Let me finish the question, please. So what I'm saying is, so whoever asked this question, so internally string is getting stored in the form of an array. That is the reason string is also having a property called as dot length. Okay. Yeah. Please go ahead. Someone asking a question.
Sir, whatever you will explain here, like methods and everything, it will use in also TypeScript. It will help to learn TypeScript.
Yeah, actually, right. When you go to the TypeScript, I mean, these methods, date objects and all same JavaScript methods only we'll be using. When you see, say for example, this is a TypeScript. JavaScript is subset of TypeScript. So this is JavaScript. So anything what you use in JavaScript can be used in TypeScript. Anything what you use in TypeScript cannot be used in JavaScript. So anything, Java, JS methods, arrays, everything can be used even in TypeScript also. In fact, this is the only way they go. Okay.
Okay.
The only thing is, now say for example, if you're declaring a array, in case of your TypeScript, what you do is var marks colon number. You need to declare the data type because it is typed. You need to declare the variable type also. Okay, that is the only difference in case of your TypeScript and Java.
Sir, how can we
Sir.
replace and append the data in an array, sir?
That we will be discussing now. I have some predefined methods to insert the values wherever you want to delete the values. We have some methods. First of all, just try to understand the data structure formation, how we are receiving, how we are reading the data. Later, I'm going to talk about that. Is that fine? Yeah. Next.
Sir, is object and data structure is same?
Object and data structure is not same, right? Data structure means any container, we call it as a data structure. Object is one of the containers. Object is an example of a container, example of a data structure. Data structure is a big word. Data structure is a container, anything of the container. As I said, practically. Now, can I say that is polythene bag is equal to laptop bag? Yes or no, Pravita?
No.
No. But can I say that both are containers?
Yeah.
Yes. So both are data structure. So data structure means the bigger part. Under that, object is one of the examples. Next.
So arrays are not objects, they are data structures.
Array is a data structure of type object only. Okay. In JavaScript, it will treat. Now, when I say marks, can you tell me what is the type of marks here? Type of marks. What will be the expected answer, guys?
Object.
So once you go here, reload the page.
Number.
The array is an object again. So object is the parent. Under that, array is also one of the type. But array is a data structure. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Next.
Sir, one question. Can you open the VS Code, please? So if I write a new variable called b or something, and b equal to string of hello, something.
Okay.
And I'm writing in console.log b.length. Will it gonna show 5?
Yes, it is going to show b.length. And anytime, guys, let me tell you, this is one of the shortcut, right? Say, for example, someone asked you, boss, I want to see how to find the length of an array. Now you have your browser. I want to declare an array. I want to see how the length of the property works in your JavaScript. Not only array, anything I want to do in your JavaScript. So for the simple part, instead of going for a HTML page creation, etc. and all, you can directly open the debugger window. Here also you can write the piece of code. I say var, say some b is equal to something called as hello. Okay, now I say b dot length. It automatically returns 5. So this we call it as a REPL environment. Read, evaluate. So we call it as RE REPL environment. Read, evaluate, process, and load can be done within your debugger window. Anyway, Gagan, did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Next. Hope everyone is understanding.
Sir,
Go ahead, ma'am.
hello. Sir, in this hello, if I add space, is that count in length?
Awesome. That's a good question. In JavaScript, string is treated as space is treated as a string. Now I say var p is equal to it is 6. Okay. Next. Anyway, right now our concept is not strings, but just to explain, I just told you. Any questions on the arrays? I still have other things, guys. I mean, other things in the sense there is still on the top of the arrays. We have a lot of other things to be worked on arrays. Okay. So now anytime you have any relevant data, relevant more than one value, always try to group them in the form of an array. Don't make it as a scattered individual variable names. Okay, put it into an array and start making use of it. Okay, so the
Sir,
next.
I have a doubt, sir.
Yes, please go ahead.
In array, only values are defined, alphabetical names or something. Some colleges are in this list or something like that. We have to do.
That is what we saw, Ramesh. If you see line number 13, array is
Yes, sir.
capable of
Yes, sir.
storing numbers, strings, any data type what JavaScript is supporting that can be added inside an array. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Next.
What about function, sir?
Is it a data type in JavaScript function?
Yes.
Yes, then obviously it can be added, right? Now I can say something like this.
Okay.
This can be done. Okay. Okay. So next, let us go into the methods what you can apply on the array. Guys, and one more thing I forgot to tell you, we actually started the offline classes for the morning 7 a.m. batch. So I'm actually visiting institute from 7 a.m. till 8:30. So if anyone want to visit, I mean, if for any direct questions or anything, you can always come. But before coming, please do update me in the Telegram so that I will wait. Otherwise, I may leave it out. Okay. So it's
That
not.
batch is online, offline, both. Yeah, only offline.
Sorry, what was that?
That batch 7 a.m. is online and offline both. Yeah, only offline.
It is both online and offline. People, I mean, some people connect online and some people be offline. So both we are taking things at a time. Okay. So if you have any type of questions, guys, you can come. Again, I'm telling it's not mandatory. If you want to come, you can always just for questions. Okay.
Sir, I've got a question. Although you have not explained it, I just thought I'd clarify it with you.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Can dictionaries exist within arrays as well in JavaScript?
This doesn't exist in JavaScript. There is no concept of dictionaries in JavaScript.
Okay, thank you.
So in Java, the dictionary is called, we store the data in the form of key and value pairs, right?
Yes.
So the same dictionary, we call it as a JSON object in JavaScript. So we have JSON objects, not dictionaries. So we can put the dictionary, the JSON inside an array.
Oh, okay.
So now in Java, I can have an array of dictionaries, right?
Yeah.
The same thing, array of
For
JSON.
Python also, yeah.
Yeah, any technology that is capable, that is possible of storing, because it is a homogeneous in Java. So what it says, array of same type of dictionaries you can store. So that is how it becomes a homogeneous data structure. Okay.
Yeah, makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. So let's come back to this guy. I go for this script tag. Let us say I have a variable where some data is equal to array of some 90, 23, 45, and 66. Assume this is an array. Okay, I'm holding, it is a homogeneous data structure. As of now, I given homogeneous data, but it is possible of giving any type of data. Or else let me give the heterogeneous data also. I say some hello. So this is an array. Now I say console.log data, save this guy, open inside the browser, go with inspect, go to console. See here, this is how the array is coming. At the 0th position, 90 is there. First position, hello is there. Second position, 45 is there. Third position, 66 is there. Okay. You see here, the question is, we have given only 90, hello, 45, and 66, right? Then what about the 0, 1, and all? By default, those will be assigned to every value within the array. You don't need to do that. And that too, it will automatically start from the 0. Okay. The next thing is, I want to find the total length of this guy. So you simply say a predefined property data.length. Save this guy, come back here and reload the page. You see how many values I got? 4 values. Good. The next thing is I would like to insert a value into the existing array. Data is an array. I want to insert a value inside this. So how do I do that? You simply say data.push method is a predefined method within your JavaScript, which is capable of inserting any number of values. Now I say 100, comma, I say 101. Now if you save this guy, now if you copy this guy and paste it. Now if you see here, how many values are there? We have 100 and 101 got inserted. But if you clearly see this, where they got inserted? At the last side.
At the end of the
right side direction of the array, it got inserted. Okay, super fine. I want to insert at the very starting. So how do I do that? There is something called as data.unshift. Under that, I say 201, 209. Now, if you save this and let us see what is the structure of this array. Save this guy, come back here and reload the page. Do you see 2201 and 209 got added onto the starting? So push is a method to insert the values at the right side of the of the array. Unshift is the method used to insert single or multiple values at the left side of the array. Okay, insertion is done. What if I want to delete it? I want to delete it. So there is a.
What about the specific index?
Yeah, I'll come to that. So there is something called as pop method. Okay, so pop is a predefined method using which you could able to delete a single value from the array. Once I said pop, let us see what position value it will be deleting. See, earlier this is the value. Now once I refresh this, which value got deleted?
last value.
From the right side, value got deleted. What if I want to delete from the left side? There is something called shift method. Shift is the method used to delete a value from the left side. See here, shift 201 got deleted. Shift, unshift used to delete and insert a value from the left side. Push, pop used to insert or delete a value from the right side. Is it clear? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
As someone is asking a question, boss, every time when I'm working the array, it is not mandated that every time I go with only first position, first position or the last position, right? What if I want to specifically delete the second one? What if I want to insert 3 values at the second position? So how do I do that? So we have a beautiful, one second. Let me comment out this code. So there is a very, very useful method we have, which is called as splice method on arrays. Splice is one of the very important method of your array, which is capable of inserting the values or deleting the values at any position, at any number of values. Any number of values can be deleted at any given position. So how do I say that? I say data dot splice. It takes the very first part as what is the starting index? What index I need to start? Assume I need to delete 45. Okay, let me uncomment this guy. Yeah, I have 90, hello, 45, say something called as true and 100. Assume like this is what I have. I want to delete 66 value from this. What is the position of 66?
3.
So 1, 2, 3. Now you need to specify 3 as a starting index, comma. Second parameter what I need to pass is how many values you want to delete from the third position. How many values? I want to delete only 1 value. Simple. Now if you do this, and now if you console this array, save this guy, reload the page, do I see 66 is gone? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now I say 3, 2. What do you mean by this? You start at the third index, delete how many values? 2 values. 66 and true. Now if you come back and reload the page, see, this is how it is. In the same way, okay, boss, you could able to delete values at any required position. What if I even want to insert? Now, if I say comma, 1001, something like this. So what do you mean by this? Start at the third index, delete two values and add a value called as 101 at the third position. See here. Now if you come back and reload the page, see 66 has been deleted and 66 and true both are been deleted. But at that position 1001 is the new value got inserted. So you can delete at any position, you can insert at any position. Now the question you might be having is, boss, you are deleting and you're inserting at any required position. I don't want to delete, but I want to insert a new value. How do I give it? You simply say it as 0. What do you mean by this? Start at the third index. How many values I need to delete? Don't delete anything. Okay. How many values I'm inserting? 101. Not only one, any number of values can be inserted. You say 2009, you say 3002, something like this. Now, if you come back and reload the page, see, without deletion, we could able to insert. So that is why splice method is very, very important method, capable of inserting or deleting the values, any number of values at any required position in the array. Any questions?
How would the address be affected, sir? The memory storage,
There
earlier
is
you showed.
Yeah, index will automatically gets updated, right? Now,
Yeah.
if you expand this guy, it will automatically update the indexes. See, now these guys got 3, 4, 5, and those guys got shifted. The automatic index will be updating. It will taken care by JavaScript.
Okay, thank you.
Any
Sir,
more?
can you please repeat data
Sir,
splice?
Sorry, what should I repeat?
Splice 1, sir.
Splice 1. Okay. Splice is the method using which you could able to insert or delete any number of values inside an array. It is taking mandatorily 2 parameters. After that, it is optional. You may give any number of parameters. The first parameter will tell you what index I need to start with. Second parameter will tell you how many values you need to delete it. And third, fourth, 5, 6, 7, whatever it is, that will tell you what are the values to be inserted. Now, if you want to insert, now when I say 3, 1, so and so, what do you mean with this? At the third position, what is that? 0, 1, 2, here. Delete how many values? 1 value. 66 will be deleted. At the same position, 3 new values will be updated. That is what it means. If you don't want to delete anything, if you want to only insert, simply make it as 0. Am I clear?
Thank you.
Next.
Sir, any array is another array. How can you splice this?
Okay, that's a good question. Now what you're saying is where some data is equal to array of 34, 45, array of 45, 67, 89. Okay, you tell me which value you want to delete. Okay, let me add another value. Say something called as 100. Yeah, can you tell me what value you want to delete?
67, sir.
67. I say data of 2 dot splice 1, 1. Got it?
Yes.
What do you data of 2? Obviously, you're going to get this guy on the top splice 1, 1. So this is 0 and 1. 67 will be deleted.
Yes, sir.
Got it?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Next. Hope everyone clear. Okay.
Sir, can you explain the unshift?
Unshift is deletion, right? Sorry, insertion, right? Only it is left side, it is adding. What is push doing? It is inserting at the right side. Unshift is inserting at the left side.
Like
Okay.
201, 209, and then the rest values.
Exactly. 90, hello, etc. and all.
Okay.
Okay. So on the top right, in your ECMA 6, we have another more properties which can be applied on an array. Very, very beautiful methods, very, very useful. Map method, filter method, and find method. Okay, when I come to the ECMA 6, then I will discuss about them. I mean, sorting. So a lot of things can be added with those methods. So that I will be discussing when I come to the ECMA 6. So these are some of the methods. Not like only these are the methods. When we go to the ECMA 6, we will see some more methods on the top of array. Yeah, please go ahead with your question.
So can you use delete?
What is delete?
Delete method, delete.
There is no method called as delete in your
Array.
there is no method called as delete in a JavaScript. Delete is there, but it is for objects, not for arrays. Next.
Okay, sir.
Okay, good everyone. Everyone understood what you mean by this?
Sir, using this array, could you show the previous assignment which we were facing problem as we have much data?
Yeah, I will come to that. I mean, we just finished it, right? I will show that also. Okay. Yeah. Any more questions on this? Can I go forward?
Yes, sir.
Everyone.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Sonali, please go ahead.
Hello.
Ma'am, go ahead. We can hear you.
If you want to find the if you want to find the index of 66, you can manually calculate like 0, 1, 2, 3. If my length is long, then how can I find out the where 66 is there? Means how can we find out the index of 66?
Okay. There is something called data dot index of 66. Console.log so and so. Now if you save this guy, oh, we don't have 66. We are deleting it, right? Let me make it as 100. Now if you come back and reload the page, what is the value you got? 7. Where is the value 100 is present at? 7. So dot index of is a predefined method. You pass a value, it will tell us at what position that variable is. Am I clear, Sonali? Guys, you ask question and you don't
Sir,
respond.
actually,
Yes, ma'am.
my information, can you repeat it again? Hello?
Sorry. Sonali, your voice is not clear, ma'am. Could you repeat again?
Sir, actually, I lost my internet. Can you repeat it again?
From the starting of arrays?
No, sir. Whatever question I asked means how can I find the index of particular number?
Fine. So there is a method. Just give me a second, guys. 1 second.
Its parameter says we can pass a search element index of, we can pass a string, number, boolean, and also we can enter from index. I think it takes 2 parameters.
Yeah, sorry, guys. Yeah, tell me. Sorry, ma'am, you're asking a question, right? So there is a predefined method called as index. Your requirement is, I know the value, I know the array, I want to know the position of it. Then you simply say data or whatever the array dot index of is a predefined method, pass me the value. It will return you that it is at the 7th position. It will automatically return the position at where the value is being present. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is any more questions?
Sir, is there any other way other than Spice to like delete and insert data at any position of array?
No, ma'am. Splice is the only method capable of doing 2 things.
Okay.
Okay, so hope everyone is clear, right? Okay, so let us go back. I mean, as someone is asking that when we go for the student details, where was that student details with functions, right? Now, if you see, when I'm returning only average. Can I do something? I say var temp is equal to array of total comma avg. Can I do this or not? which is internally, it will be some, assume like total is 200, assume like average is some 20, something like this. Internally, this is what it is. Now, when I return temp, how many values I'm returning? I'm returning single variable called as temp, which is internally having two values. Now, what these guy will be having, where some temp is equal to whatever the data we got. Now you say total is equal to temp of 0. Come on, man. Temp of 0. And I say AVG is equal to temp of 1. This is how we do this. Now I have the AVG, comma, total. I can pass it. Now these guy can catch the total. They can make use of it. But the indirect way is, you see, returning, I'm giving only a single value. But internally, it is taking multiple values because it's yes. Any more questions? Okay.
Sir, I have one question.
Go ahead,
What is difference between array dot splice and array dot slice?
Splice is the method which is used to apply on the strings. It is not for the arrays. Splice is a method used to find out the substring, or subarray also we can do that, but that is completely different. When I come to the strings, then I'll be talking about the splice method and difference between splice and slice.
Okay.
Yeah.
And sir, I have one more question. What will happen if I did data dot length? Data is array. Data dot length equal to 20. Then it will make 20 object in array.
No. When you say data dot length property, it cannot assign anything. You cannot assign the values to that. Now I say something called as data dot length is equal to 99. It is completely invalid. Now if you reload the page, it's not throwing an error, but it is not going to take the value also.
And what will happen if I set 0? It will remove all object.
Now when I say, okay, let us see this console.log data dot length. Now if you refresh, what it is throwing?
It's showing 99.
Oh my God, this is strange, man. Okay, let us say if it is saying data dot length is 0, I say I equal to 0, I less than data dot length, and I plus plus. Let us console log data of I then. Okay, let us see what is going to throw this. Reload the page. Hello. Okay, you know one thing, it is creating an array of empty values. This is a very good question, man. We never tried this. So once you assign data of length of 9, you know what is happening? It is automatically declaring like this.
91 object of undefined.
Undefined. I mean, all the values, whatever we give, that is there. But remaining values, it is going to assign. Now, in the same way, if you make it as 0, then
It will
obviously
remove all object.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now when I console dot log data, now if you save this guy, reload the page, it is becoming empty. Yeah, that's a very good point. Clear?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Next.
Sir, just
can we
repeat the
use
concept once
return?
again.
Sorry, what was that?
Repeat the concept once again, sir. What is happening there?
What you cut, paste again.
Which concept you're asking, the P or Deepika?
Just now, as he
Okay, that
asked,
length
when you
one.
give 99 or something, what's happening there?
Okay, now what is going to happen is, okay, let me tell you with another example. Now when I say var a equal to something, okay, now I say a dot length. Can you tell me what is the value? Obviously it is 0. Now when I say a dot length is equal to say some 10 or say something called as 5, you know what is going to happen? A is becoming like undefined, comma, undefined, comma, undefined, comma, something like this. So it is creating an empty array with all the empty values, I mean undefined values by default.
Understood, sir.
Got it? Yeah. Someone else is asking a question.
Sir, can we use return in arrow function?
Yes, arrow function is normal function. You can even return. Okay, let us say, for example, the student details is there. This guy is returning, right? Instead of normal function, can I make it as arrow function? Yes. Make it as equal to, remove this guy. That's it. This is becoming an arrow function. Now, the only difference is you cannot call these guys. Now, you see, you're calling the calculate total at line number 22. That cannot be done. Now, you take out this guy, put it on the top. Now, you can start making use of it.
Okay.
Clear?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. I hope everyone is clear with the arrays, guys. We can go forward.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, I'll do one thing, guys. I mean, there are some logical questions on the arrays. So let's take some notes on, take some questions on this. Write a program. Write a program to take an array of values. To take an array of values within brackets some 10 values, you take it out, some hard coded, and return total sum of all. Okay, sum we already did it, right? To return the total number of, not total number, and not return and show all the even numbers within the array. All the even numbers within the array.
Sir, can you repeat?
Write a program to take an array of values within bracket 10 values, comma, show all the even numbers within the array. Next, write a program to take an array of values, comma, list out all the prime numbers within it. List out all the prime numbers within it. Next one. Write a program to find the largest and smallest number from the array. To find the largest and smallest number from the array. Write a program Write a program what else? Yeah, write a program to sort the values within the array to either ascending or descending. To sort the values within the array either ascending or descending. Okay. Next, write a program to find the second largest number from the given array. second largest number from the given array. Okay, yeah, sorry guys. These are like second largest number, right, in the array. Yeah, try to solve these assignments, and we'll continue things in the next class. So before that, guys, can anyone tell me what is the class count today? What is the class count today?
26, sir.
25 or 26. Okay. So again, I'm asking the question. So hope things are going good as we started with the JavaScript. Hope everybody is understanding, or any suggestions you feel like, I mean, I think yesterday someone did me saying that, boss, why don't we conduct a doubt session so that we can clear all our doubts? So is anyone expecting that type of sessions?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is everyone? Because
Yes,
like it
sir.
should not. Okay, so is the time guys any tomorrow is Friday, so shall I take the doubt section tomorrow?
Yes, sir. It will be fine.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So tomorrow I will take only the doubt session. So I actually forgot the name, whoever have asked this. So thanks for reminding me. So tomorrow we'll take only the doubt session. Anyone feel like, no, I don't have any type of doubt, you don't need to connect. I'm not going to talk any type of subject tomorrow. Only the doubt session. Or else shall we do one thing? Let's take half an hour of class and then 1 hour we can put it to the doubts. Is okay? To
Yes,
not-
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay then. So tomorrow we'll have a class for half an hour, and after that I'll go with the doubt session. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So anything other than that, is everyone happy with the things which is going?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Everything.
Basically, JavaScript is the newest who are the JavaScript we are facing like this only. But overall, good, sir.
Good, right? Okay, thanks. So anyone else specifically who are new to JavaScript, are you guys understanding, or you want any help from my side? Anything? People are unmuting yourself. We're not talking.
Yeah, we are understanding, sir.
okay,
but
sir.
we need to
We're
manage the
understanding,
academics
but we have
also, sir.
small doubts, so we'll clear that in doubt session.
Sure, ma'am. Yeah. If you have doubts, I mean, please, don't even wait for the doubt session, guys. Anytime you want, you can always ping me, or you can always ask me the question. But yes, anyway, for this reason, we have conducted the tomorrow's doubt session. I'll clarify.
Sir, I had pinged you many times about that pattern programming and all.
Yeah, very sorry, Kunjun. I mean, I am having very, very busy schedule. You don't believe, like at 9:30 again, I need to connect another support call till 11:30, and in the morning, lot of busy schedule. Very, very sorry for this. But anyways, anytime I'll find some time for you for sure. Maybe like tomorrow afternoon, I can find some time. I can help you in solving that pattern program. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, so one thing is, everyone is good, right? Going good, no problems, no issues.
No, sir. No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Fine, guys. Then have a good day. We'll meet again. We'll meet again tomorrow. Bye for today.
Bye.
Okay, sir.
Bye.